I'm going to see if this works, putting it on here. Oh, I guess it doesn't fit. Never mind. A few technical difficulties, but first of all, I want to thank you all for joining my second State of the City address. And a special thank you to our events sponsors. We couldn't do it without your support. Una bienvenida para nuestros amigos de Baja California también. Today, yes, it's been Today, I want to celebrate the progress that we have made. And as we saw in the video, the city of Chula Vista has so much to celebrate. I want to talk about the road ahead and the challenges that we face to continue that progress. I am sure if we continue working together, we can build a Chula Vista that we can all be proud of. And she's the head of our communications department. I want to thank the members of the City Council, Deputy Mayor Meissen, Ms. Aguilar, Ms. Bensusan, and Mr. McCann for our city, for your dedication to our city. Your service is greatly appreciated, and I have no doubt that you all have the best interest of the city at heart. John, we wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you, City Attorney Glenn Googans, for being our master of ceremonies today, and for the legal work and advice that you and your team provide to our city. Your assistance in the districting process was invaluable, and your team's legal assistance with every contract and project is essential to the city's well-being. I also want to thank the people who make our city run on a day-to-day basis. We run a lean and efficient city. For a city our size, we have very few city workers. It is one of the smallest workforces in the state, if not the entire country. We are fortunate to have the leadership of our city manager, Gary Halbert, deputy city managers Kelly Bacon and Maria Cachadorian, city clerk Donna Norris, and all our department directors. But most of the credit, however, must go to our line staff. They are the people that answer the phones and maintain our parks and provide recreational opportunities. They maintain our streets and storm drains and process permits. These are the people who serve our residents with a smile every day, who are truly the ones who make our city run. We have asked you to do more with less, and you delivered. A special note of gratitude to our public safety personnel, our police officers, our firefighters, our paramedics. These first responders are working to keep our neighborhoods safe under difficult conditions and with aging equipment. We are fortunate that we can supplement our paid staff with a large number of volunteers. Every department relies on these individuals who selflessly give their time to make our city a better place to live. These volunteers work in the police department, our libraries, our recreational centers, City Hall, and our animal shelter. We are also so fortunate to depend on a system of 19 boards and commissions and the 147 commissioners who provide the advice and recommendations necessary to keep our city policies and our procedures grounded. But that is not for Chula Vista. Our community has a very strong and active spirit of volunteerism, as seen with our Community Service Awards. But there are other examples of this voluntary service. I'd like to thank so much the Senior Volunteer Patrol and our explorers. Thank you very much. The Alliance of California for Community Empowerment, or ACE, has organized residents in the Southwest Chula Vista to advocate for their neighborhoods by highlighting issues with their streets and sidewalks and infrastructure. If there's ACE members here, I'd like you to stand up and be recognized. I also want to point out volunteers like Felix and his wife Letty, residents of the Northwest Chula Vista, who have organized neighborhood cleanups and dedicated themselves to making Chula Vista a wonderful place. Felix recruited volunteers from the neighborhood to rehabilitate a neighbor's home. Letty and Felix, please stand up. And Kids for Our World. These young people are amazing. At the age of 8, Miguel Angel Atrete heard about the problem of deforestation. In 2015, he recruited friends from Olympiad High and Rancho Del Rey Middle School for a project that planted 1,600 trees in an area of Costa Rica that had seen a 90% deforestation. They are now working to plant trees here in Chula Vista. Kids for Our World are here. They're not here, but they're awesome. They're probably planting trees. In addition to Dr. Boni and his philanthropy, we have other great philanthropists in this community, such as Ron Cohen. Ron Cohen is the president of Sprouts Farmers Markets in Chula Vista. He's actively involved with Beth Temple Shalom, the Living Coast Discovery Center, the YMCA, South Bay Community Services, and the Chamber of Commerce. And recently, Ron was recently nominated for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Man of the Year. That's something that's very close to my heart because my daughter Michelle has just gone through her second successful battle against lymphoma. The Chula Vista Promise Neighborhood, a project of the South Bay Community Services, launched its first resident leadership academy with the residents of Castle Park. The academy's goal is to train and support community leaders to be better advocates for their neighborhood. 22 residents recently graduated from that program, and several of them are here with us today. Una bienvenida para las promotoras y voluntarias de nuestra comunidad, y si pueden poner de pie, por favor. The Dream Center has been successful in helping 48 homeless individuals with housing assistance to get them off the street. Homelessness is a complex and multifaceted problem that confronts every single city. Our South Bay Homeless Advocacy Coalition is composed of individuals from the Dream Center, the Police Department, Public Works, and County Mental Health, and churches and health centers. Their teams visit all our parks and public spaces. They interview the homeless, do health assessments, collect and store their belongings to keep our public spaces clean. It's an intensive and time-consuming effort, but it's beginning to have some very positive effects. This year, we intend to increase our resources for our homeless outreach teams. These teams will continue to use the approach that was pioneered by recently retired Police Lieutenant Mark Jones. Mark demonstrated a coordinated approach to addressing the homelessness in a humane manner that gives us the best chance in getting the homeless off our streets. Chula Vista has long been a leader, especially in the battle against climate change. We first began implementing policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in 1993 and adopted our first climate action plan in 2000. We were one of the first cities to require new developments to use reclaimed water. We now require that all new homes be pre-wired for solar power and be pre-plumbed for gray water reuse from washing machines. There are more than 5,000 homes and businesses that have installed solar energy systems. Last year alone, we processed 2,500 solar power permits. That's remarkable. All our streetlights are LED, which ensure a reduction in energy consumption. and all heavy-duty city vehicle use is biodiesel or natural gas. For all this work, we have gained international acclaim, and Chula Vista was only one of 14 cities invited to participate in last year's United Conference on Climate Change. We have set aggressive goals of becoming more efficient through improved use of energy, water, and power, communications, and other critical infrastructure. We are also planning for the hardware, software, and communication networks necessary for the 21st century. In partnership with Cleantech San Diego, Qualcomm, Cisco, and other technology companies, we are pursuing a broad vision of improvements, including solar power and fiber optics, which will set the stage for all future development and help us build a smart city. In 2016, the City of Chula Vista will continue its climate work through significant projects such as updating the Climate Action Plan and creating a zero waste plan, and ensuring that the city operations are achieved sustainably by certifying buildings to the LEED Gold standard. We're going to be working with SDG&E, and we will soon add a network of electric vehicle charging stations throughout the city. Thank you, SDG&E. This past year, we saw a great deal of progress on some of our major projects. Just this morning, we held a groundbreaking ceremony for 210 affordable apartments to join the apartments and condominiums now available for lease and purchase on the Millenia site. And very soon, Eris Hotel will also break ground in the Millennium. But even more exciting is the office complex that will soon be developed by Chestnut Properties. Chestnut Properties is planning a high-tech or biotech campus, a global work environment that will expand our technology presence and create more jobs in our community. This year, we finalized the agreement with the U.S. Olympic Committee to purchase the Olympic Training Center for $1. The city will now own the renamed Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center, and the center will continue to train Olympic and Paralympic athletes, and it will also provide our community with more access to all of its facilities. Because of our agreement, the nonprofit Point Loma Trust, the city will not have to pay for any of the operating costs. In fact, the more events and sponsors that are secured, we anticipate that it will be a sound investment for the city. Added to our network of parks and sports field, the Olympic Training Center will help us cement our reputation in sports. Our Youth Sports Council is a group of volunteers that helps manage our sports fields. They're comprised of 22 organizations. They help over 10,000 students, children, and youth participate in football, soccer, softball, and lacrosse. Because of our shortage of fields, funds, and personnel, these youth sports leagues are vital to the operations and the maintenance of our sports facilities. And for that, we thank the Youth Sports Council. I hope they're here in the audience. We appreciate you. Many of you remember our 213 East Lake Little League World Series champion, of course, and when Mayor Cox was mayor, the 2009 Parkview Little League World Series champions. But just in this last year, Sweetwater and Parkview Little Leagues won their respective tournaments of champions, and the Chula Vista Pony League's 13 years old won their World Series. Soccer teams in 19 age divisions, boys and girls, from Aztecs to Cholos Academy to the Rebels and the Chula Vista football clubs, won prestigious Presidio Cup championships. Our high school football teams from Bonita Vista, Modern Day, volleyball teams from Olympian and Castle Park, the softball team from Olympian, and the boys soccer team from Christian all won their CIF championships. Combined with the athletes who trained at the Olympic Training Center, like U.S. Women's National Soccer Team that won a gold medal, and our long list of world-class runners, we are truly a city of champions. The removal of the South Bay Substation project was a critical first step for the Chula Vista Bayfront Master Plan, and progress continues on the development of the Chula Vista Bayfront. A land swap between the Pacifica Development and the Port of San Diego will allow the construction of condominiums along the bay. Now work can begin on the architectural plans, and we expect construction to begin in 2018. We also, go ahead. We also expect that an agreement with Rita Development for the Hotel and Convention Center will be signed in August of this year. Thank you, Anne and Chair Merrifield, for your work in advancing our Bayfront dreams. Plans also to continue to move forward to establishing a university in Chula Vista. In January, the Council approved a vision statement and a plan to establish an international university. This innovative plan would be the first binational university in the world, a 375-acre campus to be shared by leading universities from the United States and from Mexico. No city is better prepared to take advantage of our central location to develop a campus that can educate tomorrow's workforce. In the coming year, we will establish a nonprofit foundation to help us secure the necessary resources to recruit our university partners. The second phase of street improvements for 3rd Avenue Village are almost complete. The addition of the 3rd Avenue Ale House, who's been there? I have, has spurred activity along our central core and provided a needed boost to our nightlife. I hope that you will stop by one evening and try one of our outstanding restaurants on 3rd Avenue. I also invite everyone to attend our first music and craft beer festival, the Avenue Amps and Ales. It's going to be Saturday, May 14th on 3rd Avenue near Memorial Park. The Los on Landis opened its doors earlier this year, eliminating a blighted site in our historic core. Wakeland Housing and Development partnered with Family Health Centers to create a 33-unit affordable housing complex that includes commercial space to expand the operations of Family Health Center. Our improved economy has allowed for the construction to begin on 113 new apartments on 3rd and L, a new shopping center at the old Kmart site on 3rd Avenue, and the renovation of Target Shopping Center on 4th Avenue. All of these projects will transform abandoned and empty sites in our urban core into community assets, finally. Last year, we held our first Ribbons and Shovels Award ceremony. This event honors individuals and organizations and businesses that have improved our community by investing in our neighborhoods. Awards included the best in art, architecture, landscaping, historic preservation, the environment, and more. Soon you can nominate a project for our 216 Ribbons and Shovels Award. And I want to thank my colleague, Pamela Bensusan, for being, again, jump-starting that recognition again. We are also excited about our libraries. The Friends of the Library and the Library Foundation have raised over $50,000 for various library projects. The renovation of the auditorium in the Central Library is complete. The Chula Vista Heritage Museum was replaced and relocated in our Central Library with a grand opening in January. It's gorgeous. I encourage you to visit. We began an early literacy project called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten to help our children get a head start on their education. Work has begun on Think a Bit Lab, a science, engineering, and math lab at the Civic Center Library in partnership with Qualcomm and the Chula Vista Elementary School District. This is the first such lab in a public library and the first to have open access for the community at large. We've upgraded the Chula Vista Civic Library and South Chula Vista Library Wi-Fi systems, and we installed 75 new computers for public use. And we have an exciting new proposal for the Chula Vista Grand Terrace that will unify Friendship Park and the library. This new deck will be a lovely spot for reading, study, and reflection, as well as an outstanding venue for the community and library events and programs of all kinds. Our Public Works Department was very busy preparing for El Nino, and while we didn't get the rain that we predicted, we were ready. We spent $3 million to repair or replace more than 11,000 linear feet of corrugated metal pipe. That's more than 2 miles of storm drains to prevent flooding. In the last year, we have removed 375 dead trees. We trimmed 4,072 trees, and we planted a whole bunch of new trees around the city. We used 108 tons of asphalt for street repair maintenance, enough to resurface 44 miles of road. We also used nearly 30 tons of cement for sidewalk repair and maintenance at more than 300 locations in the city. But there's so much more that needs to be done. 2 years ago, we began an evaluation of all our infrastructure and assets. With the help of the Asset Management Program Advisory Committee, or AMPAC, we have begun to identify the condition of all our city infrastructure. Infrastructure includes our streets, bridges, parks, and buildings, but it also includes our fire stations, fire engines and trucks, police vehicles and equipment, and water pipes, park trucks, and chippers. We must develop an aggressive asset management program to protect our assets and to replace obsolete and worn-out equipment, to repair or replace some old buildings. Some fire trucks are more than 30 years old, and most of our police vehicles have more than 100,000 miles on them. But we simply do not have enough money to replace them. The biggest complaint I usually get from city residents is the condition of our streets. I hear about the potholes, the streets that need resurfacing, the blocks that don't have sidewalks, curbs, or gutters. But we don't have the resources to keep up with all of these needs or to make these improvements. Our asset management program has reviewed all city assets and identified about $70 million in critical needs. These include buildings, streets, parks, athletic fields, and vehicles that must be repaired or replaced immediately, and another $270 million that needs to keep our other assets from falling into the critical needs category. That is why the City Council is considering asking the city residents in November to approve a half-cent sales tax increase. This increase would be temporary with a defined time limit, and it would raise about $15 million a year to help us address those critical infrastructure needs. It would be used to repair streets, buildings, vehicles, equipment, and stormwater systems. We will need for the council to come together with a plan, and and we will need your help to get this approved by the voters. But I can guarantee you this, that if we approve this temporary tax measure, we will see improvements very quickly. We will see the benefits of this measure in each and every one of our neighborhoods. The past year has been full of accomplishments. The next year shows so much promise, but it will require all of us to come together with a unity of purpose. We will need to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work before us. But I am confident that we can, and I am confident that we can succeed. This summer, we'll see a 4th of July fireworks show at the Olympic Training Center to celebrate our nation's independence and a new chapter for the training center. We will continue to see the construction at Millennia. We will review plans for construction on our bayfront, and we will identify our new partners for the university. We will see new craft breweries, restaurants, and entertainment opportunities throughout our city, especially 3rd Avenue. We will expand bike lanes and see new parks come online. We'll continue to see our children excel in academics and sports. We will see new shopping opportunities in grocery stores. And I hope that we will see much progress in fixing our streets, sidewalks, parks, along with new equipment for police and firefighters. As we have seen time and time again, in prosperity or in adversity, Chula Vista has always come together. We believe in Chula Vista, a city where we can grow together and prosper, a city where we can proudly raise our families together, a city where opportunities are as limitless as our dreams. We can do it together, and I thank you so much for the privilege of being your mayor. Thank you very much.